Hi guys! I'm doing something a little different today. If I look a little different, I'm actually filming in natural light, which I'm realizing makes all of my makeup stand out a lot more. Usually when I'm getting my makeup on to film, I have to go a little bit heavy-handed because the lights and my camera, which has this blur action to it, washes us out a little bit. And it looks right now when I'm looking in the viewfinder like you can really see everything, especially all the shine I have going on today. And that is what we're going to be talking about, because today we are going to be discussing a product that I received in my December Ipsy subscription, and that is an OFRA eyeshadow / highlighter. This is the packaging right here that it came in, and it's a one little pan in here. And it is Bliss eyeshadow and highlighter to use in palettes and kits. So this is the first OFRA product that I have ever had or used. I'll talk a little bit about the company, about this product, my thoughts on it, and then go over all the shine that I've added to my face today. I'm also going to, with my very minimal makeup collection, compare it to other highlights that I have and then to other eyeshadows that I have that seem like they might be a similar tone. So let's get started. For me, OFRA is one of those brands that I had never heard about until I started watching YouTube and watching beauty gurus, makeup tutorials, things like that. Until I started watching YouTube, my exposure to makeup was pretty much limited to what I could find at the drugstore, maybe at MAC, maybe in some department stores. Being somebody who sort of grew up in the 90s, Sephora wasn't a thing. There wasn't sort of a one-stop makeup shop like that. You sort of had your drugstore, you had MAC, which was like the be-all and end-all because it was like the cool, trendy place to go, and it had its own stores. And then you had places, this is a Canadian thing, but in department stores like the Hudson's Bay Company and like Eaton's, you had more of the makeup booths, but it tended to be the high-end stuff at that time was more aimed towards what I thought is more older market. It was really focused on skincare and it was much more expensive. So basically, as I said, until I started watching YouTube, I'd never heard of OFRA, and then I'd heard the names OFRA over and over again, Makeup Geek, some of these ones that come up over and over that you don't really hear about if you've only been exposed to the drugstore. So this is my first OFRA product, and that's kind of exciting. Looking at the website and researching a bit more, I did not know why OFRA was the name of the product until I read that the founder of this line is a woman named OFRA, OFRA Gato, I believe, and that she has been a makeup artist and therapist since like the 70s. She's had her own spas, things like that, and then in the mid-90s started making her own skincare and makeup brand, and that she has all kinds of certifications and things like that, and really focuses on the quality of ingredients. The product is manufactured at their own laboratories in Florida, so that is different than some makeup that is outsourced to be made in China and Taiwan and things like that. Not saying that it's necessarily better or worse, but I think if you have your own labs that are making it, you have a higher ability to control what is in the product, and also it's a bit more hands-on than if you are coming up with formulation and colors and then it's being done internationally. In terms of makeup and skincare, they have everything. Every kind of makeup product that you can think of, brushes, every kind of skincare, serums, all of that, OFRA produces it. I've seen some people talk about OFRA skincare. You don't hear about it as much as the makeup. I follow Nikki Tutorials on her Snapchat, and you'll often see her using some of the OFRA masks and serums and things like that to get some moisture back into her face to use as really skin pampering products. But aside from that, I've not heard too many people talk about their skincare line. You see a lot in the makeup. I also have to say that in my BoxyCharm subscription, I received a OFRA liquid lipstick, and I have heard people talk about OFRA liquid lipsticks being their absolute favorite liquid lipstick brand. I am planning on doing a test of that and a wear test during the day. The problem is that the color I got is a very dark purple bluish it looks on me, and I need to find a day where I can wear it and maybe not be out in public that much because it looks kind of crazy on me. It's a beautiful color if you are a person who can wear that kind of color, and it is going to be a color that shows very well how long it lasts and where it wears off, because it is in no way whatsoever close to the color of my lips. But we will talk about that in a future video. This product is part of their Blissful Highlight line, which may have been a special edition at one point, and now the website says is part of their permanent collection. So there are different products. There is a Blissful Highlight, which I think is much more shimmery and reflective than this, that comes in a compact and looks absolutely beautiful. And then they have a few different ways they package this Bliss eyeshadow slash highlighter. You can either get it in its own individual compact, or you can get the pans as they have here. This is a 4-gram one, and then there's also a 2-gram one, so I think it depends on what kind of palette you have to be able to put this into. This 4-gram one, just individually in the pan like this, is listed as a $12 product on their website. And it's in there with a number of different kinds of highlighting products. I think about 9 in all, and some are mineral powders, a couple different kinds of highlighters, and then this. So speaking about this product itself, I do have to say, as a makeup newbie, this is inconvenient packaging for me because I do not own a Z palette, or Z palette, as we would say here in Canada. So I have not found a good way to store this yet, and I'm not sure that I want to go out and buy a Z palette just to be able to start getting these kinds of things. Maybe I will, it's fine. But the way that this is packaged is it opens up, and then I'm trying not to drop this. This slides out, and it has the pan in here. So this is the color, and it's a beautiful highlight color. It is a little bit pinky, a little bit coppery, a little bit silvery. It's sort of this very neutral but beautiful color. And you can see it's not glittery in any way. It's just like pure reflectiveness. I have gone crazy on the highlight here today, and I've used it as both an eyeshadow and a highlight. So I'm just going to zoom you in and show you where I put this all over my face. To start with, I did a very simple eye look, which is just the Bliss eyeshadow with some eyeliner and mascara. So I've just put it all over my lid and an inner corner highlight. And it's beautiful as an inner corner highlight. I've also used it very heavy-handed as my cheekbone highlight. I have some texture here, so I have a bit of an issue with highlighters, but also on the nose. I did a little bit on my Cupid's bow, and then I used my Maybelline Color Jolt lipstick, but then also tapped a little bit in the center of my lips just to get that more full lip look, which I really like all the ways that I was able to use this. It really is the most beautiful neutral highlight that I personally have in my collection. So let's do a little bit of swatching against the other highlights that I have. And this is where you really get to see how much my collection has been built up by subscription boxes in the last number of months. So let's get started. This right here is the OFRA highlight. It's just beautiful. And you can see how gorgeous that is. And just very neutral, and on my skin tone just blends very well. It's not too pinky, it's not too gold, it's just lovely. I've done a review before on this Vintage by Jessica Lieb Skin palette, and you can see that's the vintage one underneath. It's not quite as reflective and much more pink toned. This Laka & Co. Be Lighter is in the shade Peacher's Daughter. Again, I've done a review on this, and it is even more pink tone. I mean, that's very pink tone for my skin. When I use it with a brush, it does not come out quite that pink, but it is very pink. And the last item I will sometimes use as a highlighter is this Essence eyeshadow in Rosy Flamingo. And it is the most white toned one just down here at the bottom. But out of all of these, you can see just how much more reflective the OFRA one is. This has quickly moved up to my favorite highlight because it feels like you can build it up, use a little bit, and it can look very natural. If we're talking about it as an eyeshadow and what might be some eyeshadow dupes for it, again in my very limited collection, this again is the OFRA Bliss highlight slash eyeshadow. I have done a review on the Studio Makeup On The Go palette that is warm toned. And that right there is maybe the closest shade to the OFRA one in the warm tone On The Go palette, but much more yellow and not as shimmery. This one right here is one of the shades from the Studio Makeup On The Go Cool Down palette, and it actually looks quite a bit closer, but again, just doesn't have that reflective shine, and it's a little bit more pink toned. In the Buff Collection palette that I again did a review on, there's the shade Canyon, which is not nearly as shimmery and much more pink, just down there at the bottom. I also have this palette that I've never really talked about from Essence called How to Make Nude Eyes. It's not particularly very good in my opinion, even though some of the other Essence stuff is great. And there's a shade called Go for Gold, which isn't really even showing up here and is in no way a dupe. So I would say if you have the Studio Makeup On The Go Cool Tone Cool Down palette, there is a shade in there that is somewhat close, but really nothing comes close to that beautiful reflection that the OFRA one has. As a final thought, I see why people go nuts over OFRA products just from the one that I've had to try so far. I mean, who knows what the other ones are like. I've been watching other people's reviews. Everybody seems to love them, but that is beautiful. It really makes me want to buy a Z palette to put it into, to order other makeup from the collection, other eyeshadows specifically, and then the highlighters just look beautiful. This was such a fun product to receive in my Ipsy subscription. It was one of those ones where you open it and it's like, I know this brand, I want to try this brand, and I was so thrilled to get it. So I think it is a great product. I think it was so much fun to play around with, and I'm gonna keep using it. Probably not as crazy shiny as I look right now, but I'm gonna enjoy wearing this look for the rest of the day. I thought it was really fun. I love the way it looks on top of the lipstick. I probably don't need my nose to be this reflective, but I think it's fun, and I am so happy that I received it, and for me it is a huge thumbs up. That is all for now. If you have not subscribed but would like to do so, you can hit subscribe down below or click on my face at the end of this video. If you receive this, or if you have any tips for how I can store it, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I always read every comment because I don't get that many, and I respond to all of them. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.